I said to you last week, and I'll say it again, the atmosphere into which 1 John is written is exactly like ours. They're in a time where it's geopolitically, there's a little bit of unrest, there's some tension. Philosophically, everything under the sky is accepted. Morally, they are on a really fast sinking ship. In terms of religion, literally everything was accepted except exclusive, Jesus-only truth. And I asked you last week, where do you think this setting is? And we talked about it. I said, it's right here. I know this was written back then, about 80 AD, but it could have been written right now to people just like us. And here's one of the most important things for this entire series. You have to get this. That's because it was written to us right now. In terms of the content of 1 John, I gave you what is a gross oversimplification, but I pray a powerful framework that you'll be able to carry with you for the rest of your lives. Because one of the things we noted last week is the book of 1 John is truly a God-given model for you and me in how to champion both the love and the light of Christ in the midst of simultaneously combating the modern heresies, lies of today. So this content, here it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what we said. If you can count to 5, you can get the book of 1 John. Now, you'll need the Holy Spirit to illuminate the truth, but you can at least get the structure. One passion, the glory of God through the sharing of the gospel of Jesus Christ. That is the story of the Bible. It is the story and the passion of every born-again Christian. The glory of God through the sharing of the gospel of Jesus Christ. 2 priorities. We saw that the purpose, the priority, if you will, of 1 John is to define the church and then to defend the church. We need to first define what it is so that we'll be equipped to defend it against the lies. 3 pillars in 1 John: truth, love, faithful obedience. You will find that these pillars come back over and over and over again. As we go through the 5 chapters of 1 John, we're going to talk about truth, then we're going to talk about love, then we're going to talk about faithful obedience. Then we're going to come back to talking about truth, and then we're going to talk about love, and then we're going to talk about faithful. Then we're going to come back more truth, more love. And so 1 John is written in a secular fashion. We're accustomed to reading accounts in the Bible and stories in general, and we read linearly. 1 John is written secularly, and so these 3 pillars you're going to find supporting everything in 1 John. 4 purposes in 1 John. And the first one we'll really begin to unpack today, and that is to promote koinonia, to promote supernatural unity. John is writing and saying to the churches, listen, you've got to have God as the glue that holds you together. I know that there are those that are telling you, just gather together on Sundays. Just be nice people together. Just do moralistic things. You don't need this whole sold out to Jesus thing. You know, truth is relative. Love is emotional. Obedience, well, you know, one's obedience might be somebody else's optional. You know, kind of be a little loose here. And people back then, just like today, were drinking the Kool-Aid by the gallons. John's writing to this. Number 1, to promote koinonia, supernatural unity, saying that it's not about the programs in the church. It's not even about the people in the church. It's about the passion of the glory for God through his gospel. So, promote koinonia. 2, to prevent sin. John says in the first verse of chapter 2, I'm writing so that you won't sin. He's saying, listen, I don't want you to stumble, and I certainly don't want you to be damned for unforgiven sin. I'm writing this so the truth will set you free, as Jesus later said, that you will know this. 3, he says, I'm writing to protect you against the false teachers. And this is a point that we made last week. I pray you get this. The false teachers that he says he's writing to protect them against. In 1 John 2:26, 7 verses earlier in verse 19, he said, oh, by the way, the people that I'm writing to protect you against, they came out from amongst you. They were within you. The truth, the love, and the call for faithful obedience, it drove them out. And when they got out, now they're the ones that are trying to tell you that you don't need truth, love, faithful obedience. It's not about the gospel. It's really about you. He says, and they sound so close. He said, I'm writing to protect you against the familiar who are unfaithful. Now, they're religious, and they're nice, and you like them. And that's exactly why I'm writing to you this letter. Fourth purpose, and you'll see this today as we get to the first presence of this, it's to give us faithful assurance.